Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all are doing very well. Thank you for visiting Stained Glass Mosaic Productions and Design YouTube channel. I, Alex Montgomery, along with my other co founders, Jake Clancy and Daunte Brown, are so excited to show you a little bit of insight into our opinion on film every week. We're going to select a new film to review and also just work through different things that we're talking about with the company or other film questions, queries, debates, and other things like that. This podcast is really just to introduce you to us and our company, and I hope you enjoy. Please feel free to leave a like, a comment, subscribe to us, and of course, give us any tips or recommendations that you want to see from the Stained Glass crew. Thank you, have a great day, and have fun watching Three-Headed Dragon.
Welcome, bitch ass niggas, to the first installment of the Three-Headed Dragon film podcast. Well, we just three youngins, young filmmakers trying to get our groove on. So until then, we're gonna talk about these movies. I am Daunte Brown. I'm gonna let my dogs introduce themselves.
I'm Jake Clancy.
And I'm Alex Montgomery.
And today, for the first episode, we will be talking about Menace II Society, a 1993 classic directed by the Hughes brothers, who me and Jake were just talking about, were only 20 years old when they first directed. I'll start by just saying why I picked this movie first to start with. My kind of history with this movie. First time I ever experienced Menace II Society, I want to say I was like 10, 11 years old. It's at my grandma's house. And I went to the living room to ask my dad for some help with my homework. And he just had the movie on in the background. It was the opening scene. Movie just started. And I'm sitting there watching it, 10, 11 years old. The part like he's like shooting the Korean people. I'm like, oh, like, what is this? I was terrified. But it was like, this is fire. Like, what's going on? And then, like, it's a widely regarded classic in the Black community. And that leads me to my second point of why I picked it. I'm just going to be blunt about it. White America don't know if it isn't white American, European, or some kind of East Asian, white Americans really don't know too much about it. It has to be struggle porn for it to be a Black recognized or a Mexican recognized movie. It has to be struggle porn. There's a reason no Black person's ever won Best Director. There's a reason only one Black movie has ever won any type of Oscar. And it's just because it just doesn't get on the radar unless you can recognize, like, oh, there's so much struggle. This is such a good movie. But yeah, I'll just open up the table. Let me know.
First off, yeah, great pick. Just starts off here. I mean, only an hour and a half, so it's kind of like good to get into this thing. Not too much to analyze and think about, but there was definitely, I got a whole page filled with notes of just things that I enjoyed about and discuss some topics to get into. So, yeah.
Sir, what you, Alex?
Yeah, no, so to piggyback, great choice, because I've had this on my shelf, like not even figuratively. Literally, I've had this on my shelf.
Wow, that's hard.
For so long, and I have yet to watch it. And I've got like I'd say more than half of the movies that I have on disc I haven't yet seen. So like, very nice to be able to watch it. Also, would be curious to know what platform and on what device we all watched it on, because talking about color grading and audio and different things might be a variance there. So I watched it on a Sony TV and using a Sony Blu-ray player, and this is my 4K Criterion copy.
What?
Yeah.
I watched it on this computer on the legal streaming site.
Hey, see,
That's why I was kind of joking when like y'all asked me where to watch. I was like, I don't know, Criterion Collection. Like, no, I'm gonna get that one day though. Let's talk about. Oh, you said I've seen this movie multiple times on multiple different ways, like on like on cable as it's played, um, uh, this TV, so many different ways. But yeah,
Jake, was this your first time watching it?
Yes.
Okay, me too. Okay, there you go.
Let's start at the beginning. The opening scene, absolutely beautiful. The camera work and the camera placement throughout it, I thought was amazing. Even before O-Dog shot the Korean dude, because I just like that so much, because one of my favorite things of filmmaking is when the shot makes the film better, but it's also easier to film because of it. And what I mean by that is when we got to Kane's reaction to when O-Dog shot the guy, we were only focused on Kane, because that is exactly what's important, what we want to see and what the directors wanted to show, because it's kind of like the first step into what is to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yet it also just makes it so much easier because you don't have to film a guy getting shot in the head. And of course, we do end up seeing a different angle of it later from the tape. But that's, it's a little bit more distorted, a little bit blurrier. And with that angle, you can easily put like a thing right here. So yeah, that was one of the things that kind of stood out to me in that.
Very like Brian De Palma-esque. Like if you watch a movie like Scarface, which is like, a big inspiration to them, it's such a violent movie, but you rarely actually see the violence until you do. You can definitely see where they got something like that from. And I actually seen like a post on Reddit not too long ago. There's another reason why I picked this, like talking about like how like the opening scene of Menace is something that should be taught in schools, because like it literally just like paves the way for the rest of the film perfectly, but also just kind of throws you in. Another one thing I really like about this movie is how it really doesn't waste time a lot, like initially setting things up. It just kind of throws you in this world with these people and showing you how stuff kind of flows, stuff kind of works. And to be honest, like obviously I've never been to LA, I never gang banged in LA, but I know a good little bit about like the culture, and it's really different from what people actually think like gang banging is. And like the movie doesn't show you that much, but just like hearing people who kind of grew up in that.
Hang on a second. Are you Steve? I am not Steve.
No, shut the fuck up.
What business meeting are you in?
I booked out a conference room in the library because that'll be too noisy at my house. And about 2 minutes have gone by without someone coming in and making a lot of noise.
Respect the time.
That's crazy.
Oh, they did look up when you said shut the fuck
up. That's funny. People who kind of like grew up in that time and like in that kind of environment, the way they talk about like, I guess, gang culture in LA. What were you about to say, Alex?
What was the impact of a movie like this as compared to the music that was coming out at the time?
Ooh, so during that time, actually, there was kind of like a ceasefire between the gangs were kind of more united against like police brutality at the time, because this is like very short. I'm pretty sure like the case of Rodney King getting beat up is at the beginning of the movie. So, like, yeah, though there was a lot of more unity, and that also helped him film in this, like, because every extra like real person who lived and grew up in that neighborhood. And so a lot of the music at the time too, like the gangster rap, there was like a lot of like peace and positivity being pushed. But also the Hughes brothers kind of made their goal, because they didn't really like the way a lot of movies would portray like where they came from. And they said they wanted to make it how they saw and how people kind of end up in situations. And yeah, it was definitely just them wanting to show the world something they tend to see, but it usually comes from people who don't actually come from there, and they wanted to show it more from their perspective. But even then, obviously people still would like who come from that area would probably disagree with some things they did, you know. So
I think it's also important to note that the Hughes brothers decided to choose showing the gangster lifestyle and not just a gang member. I believe they said in an interview afterwards. It's like,
oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, they separated it from like Bloods and Crips entirely, and just wanted to just make it a little more universal.
Mm-hmm. Scorsese did something similar with Mean Streets, where like when you think of like the common like gangster movie, you think of like these big wigs making all this money, but he wanted to focus on like the street level young kids first getting into it, and like that's who Harvey Keitel and De Niro are in the movie. It's a similar thing where like Jake said, they're not focusing on like, oh yeah, they're Crips and they're against the Bloods, because that's not really like how it always was. Like it was way more situational than that. So yeah, that's definitely always something I really found interesting about this movie, especially when you realize that like Kane and O-Dog were brought in. Like we see them as teenagers. Like Kane just graduated, O-Dog's still in high school. They were brought into that world way sooner than that. Like they're 10 years old, learning how to cut drugs to make money. Like, yeah, man.
Fun fact, 50% of the crack used in the crack cutting scene was real crack.
That's hard. That's hard.
Dude, that's fun. Okay.
That's hard. The one thing I also do want to point out, one is crazy getting Samuel Jackson in your first movie. Well, this movie has a great cast in my opinion. There's a lot of dope cameos y'all probably missed and stuff like that. But here's this clip where he's like they ask him about the government or something like that. He's like, I don't really care about none of that. Yada yada. He says a lot of stuff, but he brings up the fact that like my granddad fought in Vietnam and came back, and now my whole family gangbangs. And that literally represents Samuel Jackson's character, because when a lot of those people came back to LA, they really couldn't get homes. They couldn't make a lot of money in a lot of ways. And they came back and they had to make money somehow. All that PTSD just led to like the drug use, and there's just a lot going on.
Because I thought it was so cool how in the flashback to when King was 10, when Samuel Jackson Pat kills the guy who just got out of prison, all the lights in that, there was a lot of red light, an imperial Japanese flag in the background, which I thought was a cool touch, and then just a little bit of blue. And that's like danger. Yeah. And then we get to the party after the robbery, and there's a lot of blue light coming in, like a much more like safer. And there's another scene towards the beginning with a bunch of blue light as well. And then we're kind of separated for the light until Kane and Ronnie finally hook up, and we're again drowned in that blue light, showing like, okay, he's kind of found this safe escape to kind of go to, is the safety. And I thought it was a real cool way of showing kind of, the mindset of Kane throughout, just by using these different lights at parties, which was cool. So one of my favorite scenes was when O-Dog and Kane came into Grandpa's house, and both of them had crosses on.
Dude, yes.
They sit down underneath the Last Supper painting, and then O-Dog says, can't remember handwriting. God doesn't care about us. Yeah, that's what he said. God doesn't care about us. And I just found that, and then
because why would he put us out there though if he cared? That's like his point of view. And like as a young kid who's seen nothing but horrible things happen and nobody cares, you can't be mad at him for questioning something like that. And one of my favorite, I knew we were talking about quotes, but one of my like favorite scenes in the movie is at the end of that scene where like they're leaving and his granddad's like, Kane, do you care if you live? And he's like, I don't know. That's the mentality. He like, because what's the point? Everything sucks. Why should I don't see any good hopefuls for my future. I might as well live as fast as I can. Is stability even a thought? You feel me? Like,
yeah, and that's where I was gonna go, is like stability seems uncomfortable to this character. You had two stupid solid options, you know, and one where a teacher, a black man who has, you know, lived through this life and is now paying taxes and probably owns his own home, tells you like, bro, this is it. This is where you like make a new life for yourself.
I'm glad you brought up Mr. Butler, because I thought it had another one of my favorite quotes in the movie when he says just survive, and that at the end, that one, it immediately clicked me back to earlier in the movie when we had two songs back to back. You had in the flashback scene with all the red, you had, I think it's Jerry Butler's song "Only the Strong Survive." Might not have been directly that scene, but it was earlier in the movie. And then cut forward a little bit, 5-10 minutes, and you have Too Short's song "Only the Strong Survive." At first, you're kind of thinking, well, it's only the strong survive, you know, physically. Like if you're the biggest, if you're smart around, the second to like then when he says at the end, it's almost like the people who are strong enough to realize that this is not okay and this is they got to go. Then those people are the ones who are strong enough to survive.
Show him the way we grew up.
Show him the way we grew up ain't right.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that's exactly what it is. And it only took, but it's also mentioned in the movie, and you hear it a lot in hip hop too, and have for a long time, is like you're either gonna die or you're gonna go to jail. Like that's what this game is. And so you're hearing from a guy who got one outcome, life in prison, no parole, is what they said. And he's telling you, you know, and then, not to spoil it, but at the end, you get the other fork in the road. Why does God tell you not to kill someone? Right? Like he knew people were going to kill people, but it's a cycle, you know, and that's where you get into, it's not a blood and a crip thing. It's more of like a familial relation, block gang thing where, oh, you shot my cousin. Oh, now I'm going to shoot you. Oh, you dogged out my cousin. Oh, I'm going to go beat you up. Oh, you beat me up. Well, my friends are going to shoot you now.
Jake, tell me your favorite quote real quick.
You're man enough to take a life, but you're not man enough to raise one. Something along those lines.
Great quote. It was some BS.
Let's hear it.
So it's something like I kind of noticed more on multiple watches, but you really wouldn't know. And the Hughes brothers admit they did a bad job of showing this in their director's commentary. She was never pregnant. You know how like Kane was like doubling, tripling down on the fact like, no, I wore a condom. She wasn't. She was trying to hustle him out to get some. She was trying to scam him out of some abortion money just to get it for free. She wasn't pregnant. And that's why she was so adamant about like telling her cousin, no, please don't do anything crazy. It's not that serious. Like she wasn't pregnant.
So, dude, watching that for a second time now, that's gonna be interesting because now it's not like.
Didn't she sell it though? Didn't she really do a good job of selling it?
No, she did, because I was like, oh, I'm kind of with Kane the whole time. He's in a tough situation. Yeah, I mean, what else would any of us do, right? And he's got an opportunity to get out. He's going to get out, and you know, he fucked up. Got to handle the consequences. But now it's like, damn, everybody's trying to screw everybody over, man. This is some bullshit.
Quick little. That's a little like 200 off of him. Yeah, because I mean, she knew he was making money. He was doing it big at that point. Scene where they're on the way to avenge Harold, and they're like, oh, like I'm not killing no kids, no old people. First of all, I love O-Dog. I mean, I love O-Dog's whole, hey, you acting like a real bitch right now, cuz like I'll smoke anybody. I don't care who, I'll smoke anybody. No, but the little one of, if not my favorite needle drops of all time. When I first saw that, like when I first sat down and watched the movie when I was a teenager, it altered my brain chemistry, dog. Like I love that scene. Oh, I love that scene.
The juxtaposition. The song is called Love and Happiness.
Love and Happiness.
And not to transition from the music, but like the practical effects in this movie, were awesome. And when the guy in the red jacket's already shot, he's walking away, and you got that other guy comes up, oh, you need some help, and then like shoots him through his chest. Bro, those 4 or 5 shots that come out of his back, they look so
great.
good. That looks awesome. I was like, dude, we've got to have that in a movie. That looks so sick. What is something from this movie that you're gonna take and implement? Or I'm sure you've got a couple things, but like, what's the most predominant thing that you're like, oh, I've got to get that into my movie?
Vibe.
All right, that's a good answer. Can you elaborate a little more on that?
Yeah, I like to think of the 80s to the early 2000s as kind of like a golden age for Black cinema. We were getting a lot of great independent movies, but Menace is obviously one of those, will always be renowned in the community. Chucktown is definitely going to be like my love letter to that kind of crime drama coming of age film. Like not just like Menace, but like, you know, Boy to the Hood, Goodfellas, all these movies. But like, you know, it's going to be my interesting twist on it.
Sick. Jake, what about you?
Probably the rawness of it all. How kind of you felt like you were there at times, and you mentioned the opening scene, and that's kind of it.
Like you said, the rawness of it, because it's not even like just the violence, like the scene where we just get to see them all hanging out at the cookout, just eating, playing dominoes, like just like we're in this space and area with them and just living with them.
The parties too, especially.
Yeah, I love the party scenes. You see people kissing on the stairs and like people smoking, drinking.
There are 2 types of party scenes in cinema. Party scenes that seem like they were throwing a party and they're like, we're just gonna film some of this.
Mm-hmm.
And scenes where they were obviously partly making the party for the film.
Yeah.
You can always tell which one's which.
Good point.
Agree.
One other thing that I noticed that I kind of want to hear your opinions on. Every single cop in the movie was white except for the detective. I just wanted to hear your opinions on why you think that was why the Hughes made that decision.
That did happen a lot of times in LA. You had, and I'm not saying Bill Duke's character was like an Uncle Ruckus, but that was the case a lot of time. I just think he was a head detective type. But he also, like you said earlier, Alex, probably came from the area, probably know them. And yeah, he would be the one who could probably break something like that. I mean, he knows that whatever happened, Kane probably wasn't going to snitch on himself or old dog or anything like that.
All these other cops, it's just classic white guy, chubby, eating donuts, whatever.
Harder for us to respect them.
Yeah, but then it kind of, to me, it symbolizes this self-made glass ceiling, right? So to Kane, he's black. I can't do anything. I'm black. I was in LA. I was born poor, raised poor. I'm going to be poor. My, dad died selling drugs. My mom died doing drugs. Who gives a fuck? This guy's making what? Probably 60 a year, wears a suit every day, and comes in and gets to grill you. He's just as black as you are. And I think that's the point that it made, is like 2 opposite sides of the table. Like, yeah, we are going to point out, racism and police brutality. But just as there's a way for you to move out and get away from LA, there's a way for you to make a life here. And at the end of the day, it's up to you.
There's also even I can just be minding my business and still there'd be a problem. And we can't like ignore stuff like that. Shout out to essays. They helped out.
I really like the decision to make them like friendly and help them.
Yeah, that was cool.
They actually dropped us off to the hospital.
When you have a voiceover in a film, it can get the very slippery slope to this guy's just explaining stuff. And I thought there was a scene towards the beginning, or a quote, where he said, I probably only learned about half the things I was supposed to learn in high school, but I only went half the time, which is indirectly saying, like, if he went every day to high school, he would have walked away with everything. He's a smart kid.
But he wasn't making no money in school. So
yeah.
There you go.
thought that was I really liked when he said that.
I only learn about half the time. Like, it's a fun favorite number one scene. Single favorite scene.
Low-key the opening scene.
It's a great pick.
I really like the conversation in the car. And then, you know, he's sort of like the music is going over the voices and he's tuning it out. Then he has to, you know, turn it off and listen. But like, to me, that was like the most real conversation ever. Like between
before he bought the car.
Yeah. Like between three dudes in a car, you know, and although there were a lot of like great themes and, you know, social commentary and like you said, you know, this is a cult classic and a piece of Black culture. Like it's a week in the life movie. You know what I mean? Like we just picked up on this guy and then followed him for, you know, a time. And that like made it so much more real. Are those grounding scenes?
I love Stacy. He was such a funny kid. He's like, yeah, I gotta go pick up one of my kids.
Yeah.
And while we on characters, Clifton Powell, Chauncey. Clifton Powell is kind of known for playing bitch ass characters, and Menace is one of those movies where every time you watch it, you just wish something goes different. Every time you wish O-Dog wasn't so much of a sociopath. Sometimes you wish Chauncey didn't get his hands on that tape. You wish so many of these things, like, but it's just how it's got to play out.
If Chauncey never got his hands on that tape, the movie still would have ended.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I kind of like that. I did like.
Yeah, that's true.
Trivia time.
Let's get some trivia.
I have 7 questions. I'm only do 5 of them. Some of them are a little similar. We're gonna start easy and then we're gonna get a little harder.
Right.
Jeopardy format. Answers in the forms of questions.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Question 1. This LA rapper was originally supposed to play Sharif.
I feel like Daunte told us the answer to this when we were at his house.
I did tell you.
Okay. If I'm wrong, then I'm totally fucked.
I'm ready.
Want to show your answers?
Who is Tupac? Oh, I put the wrong part. Where is it? Oh, here it is.
There we go. Yes, the correct answer. Both of you get a point. The answer is who is Tupac. Question 2. The Hughes brothers were originally crushed when they saw the commercial for this 1991 movie, as they thought it would be too similar to Menace to Society. Thankfully, it was completely tonally different.
I'm ready.
Alex, you good?
Yeah, I think so. I got one guess.
Let's reveal our answers.
What is Boys in the Hood?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, both of you get that one.
Oh, let's go.
Got it. They did go on later to say though that like they wouldn't have admitted it at the time, but they said they probably wouldn't have been able to make it if Boys in the Hood didn't do as good as it did.
Okay.
Interesting. They did get $3.5 million.
Audience up.
Yeah, $3.5 million. But you know, Boys in the Hood, like John Singleton, who was only 23, 24 when he made that, he became the first black man all time, first person of color really to be nominated for Best Director. 1992. Like, what the fuck? That's why I'll never in my life care about an Oscar, but I digress.
This is totally off topic. This is a question for Daunte. What would make you happier? A black man winning Best Director, or you have to wait 30 years for no black director to be, you know, selected as Best Director, but you get to be the first, but it has to be in another 30 years.
I mean, it would be cool, I guess, to like be the first, but at the same time, I don't know, like, because I don't want to. There's already been so many great black movies that have just gone unsung because white audiences haven't really seen it like that. and I would hate for that to go on for another 30 years. So, yeah, I would just let somebody else have it.
Question 3, a little bit harder. How this works is if both of you are within 10, I'll give you the point. Give you both the point.
Okay.
Then it's whoever's closer.
Okay.
Ooh.
The word fuck and its like iterations used this many times in the film.
Oh man, an hour and 37 minutes. Shit. Dude, yeah, there's no way.
Question actually. I'm really trying to like even ballpark it. Oh, I thought this was a stupid answer.
Yeah, I feel like I'm way off too, but like I don't think I'm gonna get any closer.
All right. We got a 97. We have
85.
85. Wow, you guys are really close to each other, but really far away from the actual number of 305.
Really?
An average of 3 fucks a minute.
Holy shit, no way!
I did not think it was that many times.
I think fuck was used before a visual on screen was, because you know how they're talking.
That's true, yeah, because they're talking to the homeless dude, like, get the fuck on somewhere.
Okay, right. Well, damn. Well, we totally flunked that one. No points for us. Wait, okay, so time out. More movie trivia. Wolf of Wall Street broke all those records. Was this the movie that held the F-bomb record until Wolf of Wall Street?
No, I don't think so. I think it was another Scorsese movie. I think it might have been Goodfellas.
That was made after this, or before this, though, wasn't it?
Before. I mean, this movie came out after. Menace came out after. I think Casino had it, which makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
So I was close, actually. It's Scorsese's next movie. All right, next question. That was number 4 or 3?
3.
Okay.
All right. According to screenwriter Tiger Williams, O-Dog, is this age? All these are taken from IMDb trivia, by the way.
I'm really debating between 2 answers, and I know it's one of these 2.
I got mine already. My pen is back down.
Fuck it. I'm gonna be so mad if I lose this. Like, I'm gonna be pissed.
All right. Let's see the answers. 16. Daunte, what do you have?
15.
Daunte is correct. Yes.
Oh, no. Damn.
16. It was either 15 or 16.
I felt good. I felt good about him being like a couple years younger.
Yeah, he was a couple years younger than Kane.
Good job.
About 17.
Like he said, because like they said, like he was a minor, so that's why he got off with a warning.
Yeah.
These are good questions, Jake.
Thank you. Tiger Williams wrote the script over 6 weeks. How many days out of those weeks, or this is the number of days out of those 6 weeks he was writing?
Days per week or total days?
Total days. So how many total days would he spend writing the script?
You got an answer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just did based on how many days a week I thought he was doing and how many weeks it took. And I feel like I'm still high. I feel like
this one will have a buffer of 3 days.
Okay, I'm ready.
3 days to get it correct.
I'm ready to.
All right. Let's reveal your answers.
What is 21?
12, 21. The correct answer is 28. 28 days. And then we'll do a little bonus question right here real quick.
Okay.
All right. So Daunte won. Daunte won.
Yes.
Yeah. Good job.
Good job, Daunte. It was written in 28 days. Do you think filming was more or less days? My hint is it is within 5.
23.
I'm going to say exact on 28. Trick question.
Good question.
At the same time.
It is more. It was filmed in 33 days.
Oh, I thought. Nice.
How many minutes of footage a day do you think we got on Classless?
The most was like 25, 30 because we did the debate. The entire debate was 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then we got like 10 minutes of footage at the school too. But on average, I'd say it was around like maybe 10 to 15 minutes of footage a day. So
awesome. All right.
This movie had a lot of dope cameos too. Like Yo-Yo, she was a big rapper in the 90s who was signed to Ice Cube. She made a dope little cameo at the party. Just lots of rappers, lots of like MC8 played Wax.
I'm so glad I know him for something other than that one part of Mad City.
How do you personally feel about the movie, like your rewatchability, that sort of a deal?
I can always rewatch this movie. I feel like it's just like it's such an easy thing to just put on. I saw this movie at a young age, and I feel like you learn the more you watch it, the more you learn about it because you see different things on rewatches, learn different things about the characters. I kind of wish it was a little bit longer.
There's a prison riot scene and another scene where there was like some gang banging going on that didn't really relate to the story, and the studio was kind of like, not that.
Yeah, that's the studio.
But the studio did add, they said that you need one more lighthearted scene towards the end, and that's why we got the Purnell scene in jail.
Yeah, what would I add? More scenes with just Kane just coming to terms with his situation, and more scenes, not necessarily with his friends, but I feel like there could have been some stuff show, I guess, circumstances a little bit more. Because like I said, there are things you miss without a rewatch. There are things you just literally won't know unless you come from something like that or Black, I guess. Things you'll probably just miss out on. But that's just movie and culture in general. So
what's your final rating out of 10?
Yeah, I can go.
All right. So when I watch a movie, in the back of my mind, I have two numbers, bouncing, like kind of like it is either this or this, depending on how the ending goes. And you can usually pick it up relatively quick, just kind of like on like, unless there's a movie which just completely drops off in the second half, and then you're like, wait, bump those numbers down. But the entire movie, I was thinking, all right, I had between an 8 and 9, see how the ending is. And I would like to say that I thought O-Dog was going to die, and I was almost a little scared for Anthony for a second. But I thought that killing Kane off was kind of just the best way to end it. So I do have to give it a 9 after the
I mean, I had a good time with it. It's short, quick, easy. Like you said, you can kind of just pop it in and pick it up. If I were to do anything different, I would definitely just kind of have more like public scenes, more day-to-day like interactions with people, and not necessarily like maybe Kane without O-Dog, so he's a little less of a dickhead, and you can kind of see like how he treats the McDonald's person, right, when he's not robbing someone in the drive-thru.
Hilarious! That was so hilarious.
That was with cheese.
With cheese. That's a great scene. Better meeting the cops.
Yes, I mean, for me, I think it's a 7.5, 8. If it was a little longer and I had a little more time with the character to latch on, it would be higher. And maybe with like a rewatch or two, like I'll have a little bit more.
Revisit it like a long time from now, because I know there's things I want to say about it right now, but I'm kind of blanking. But
that'll be a good part of keeping our audience entertained, is if they ever want us to rewatch a movie, they can feel free to let us know. You know what I was thinking in the car this morning? So I was headed to the gym, and I was like, dude, I'm looking forward to like doing this today. Like, this is gonna be a good time. And the first thing I thought of was like, you know what, like 2 or 3 days after Classless is like released, we're going to have like 2 or 3 people that like have listened to this a few times, and they know that we're coming out with a movie, and they're just going to rip it. They're like,
this fucking sucks. You guys don't know shit about movies. You guys talk all this bullshit, and then you make the worst fucking movie. There's a light in the shot. The boom falls in the shot. What the fuck are you guys doing? You missed this, and I don't appreciate that, so you need to rewatch it now.
Dude, I'm ready for all of it. I'm ready for them just to nitpick like every single thing, because we're like talking shit about other movies now. And they're like, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" And it's gonna be their favorite movie or something, and we're just gonna like say something or clown it. Like,
we gotta pick some like lesser movies, because otherwise we just keep rating them like, oh, this movie's a 7 and 9 and 8. Wait, are there any bad movies out there? We gotta watch some like solid like 2s and 3s and talk about them. All right, Daunte, what's your final rating?
I love it. I love it, man. It's very influential and still be relevant to the times. And just hope to get to the point where we can be putting more independent movies of people showing their backgrounds and how they want to portray things to the world.
It's definitely very inspiring in the sense that if you want your movie made, you go out and you make your movie. They were 20 years old. I looking through the trivia. Their mom got them like a camera when they were like 12, and they started shooting videos from that, and it's gone to the music videos. And
anybody can do
you want to do it, you can do it. And I love it.
Yeah.
It's how stories are told.
Yeah, and like I said, shout out Boys in the Hood, because like the Hughes brothers said, they probably wouldn't have been able to do it without the success of that movie.
If we want to wrap up this episode and find out who's choosing the next movie and what movie we'll be doing next.
Yeah, so we're about to do that. How are we going what do we do?
Well, you're the movie guy this week, so I guess you can come up with something fun, or we can always
say if y'all like it, y'all could like chug something, have a race play, but it's kind of early in the day, and I don't know what y'all have to drink.
I don't really have much. There's not much in the library right now. But
Yeah, I
don't have much.
Rock, paper, scissors is kind of boring. All right. Thinking of a number between 1 and 200.
All right, write it down. We'll all write it down.
All right, I'm ready when y'all are.
I'm ready.
And whoever's closer,
we all pull up the same number.
that would be funny. What's that, Jay?
Ooh. 119, 137.
The answer was 197, so Jake is closer.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, Jake, what movie we got this week, and what are we going to be talking about next Wednesday?
All right. This next movie, as someone who has just completed his college career, I find this as a relatable movie. Coming out well over 50 years now, it has become it's become a very influential, famous movie filled with great quotes and a lovely soundtrack. Our next movie we'll be watching is The Graduate.
Yes! Come on. Love it.
Big Hoffman.
Love it.
Thank you for coming back after you've already watched a couple and then watching the first one that we put out.
Yeah, because we know ain't nobody seen this first one like that, but we gonna get to that point where y'all be like, oh, that's them. I love them.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, guys. I know. It looks a bit off now. We're only gonna get better, and we're only gonna have more to talk about.
Only gonna have more things to say, more games to play with the movies, more guided talking. This was not last second, but
take this as exactly what Jake was saying earlier. You know, what Daunte pointed out. The Hughes brothers made this how old again?
20 years old.
20.
this is like a genuinely good directed movie. Like,
no, it's awesome. I'm 24. Jake, you're
22.
Daunte?
24.
There we go. And we're making our own movies, dude. Fuck what anybody else has to say. Keep watching us. Keep making your own thing. And if you want to be in a movie, have a script, or just want to talk about film.
If you want to make bread, tap in.
For sure. Hit us up. Stained Glass Mosaic Productions. This is the Three-Headed Dragon. It's been a pleasure.